Hi, in this session I'm going to show you how to create an organization distribution chart. So this would be something that would kind of represent maybe we have some grade ranges within an organization and we have the actual head count, and it would produce this kind of chart where you can show management. Or if it's similar to another organization where you mostly have the lower grade ranges, we would see something like this. And in fact, it would almost be like an organization pyramid chart instead of a pyramid chart with both ends when you really think about it. So in order to create these type of charts, I'll show you how to do that. It's basically going to be a stacked bar chart. And let's go ahead and see how we can create something like this. Let me go and just copy these two particular headings so I don't have to copy them over again. I'm going to put them over here in this particular worksheet. And let me go ahead and double click that to expand it. So let's say we have some grade ranges. Maybe we just have 5 grade ranges, and then I'm going to go ahead and right mouse click it while I hold down the fill handle here and just bring it down here. Now you notice that it just says 1, but it's going to give me a little tip here, a little menu here where I can fill the series. So it's going to fill it in ascending order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's say my head count, let's say we're saying that the grade range 1 is maybe our entry-level workers, and let's say this is like a more established company, like maybe like in a retail environment, a small retail environment. Maybe the head count is 1,000 at that range, and maybe for the second grade range above that, maybe 1,500. But as we get higher into the group where we get maybe managers, it maybe goes lower, maybe down to 8 or maybe 600 managers. And as you get higher in the middle management, maybe there's I don't know, 200. And then at the higher levels, at executive management and the senior management, maybe you'll get 100 or maybe even less, maybe 80, right? And so there's our head count there. And if we were to create this type of chart already, just going to insert and going to the bar chart and doing a stacked bar chart, we're going to have something like this. So it really doesn't look like it can be something where it's in the middle and it gives us a nice little area to see things. What we actually need to do is we need to put some padding before these bars and after these bars. So what we're going to do is we're going to include some padding to the left and right of these bars. So I'm going to select this and do Control-Shift+, which adds a column. You can also do a right click and go Insert, and as long as you select a column, it will insert a column. So I'm going to call this left padding, and then I'm going to call this right padding. And these will be hidden afterwards. So I'm going to go and double click that just so I can see that. And what I want to do is I want to take the highest number here, maybe add a little bit to it, and that's going to be the range over here. That's going to be how far that this particular plot is going to draw out. Right now, Excel has automatically drawn it out to 2,000. Maybe 2,000 is a little too high. Maybe I'm going to make it 1,800. So what I want to do is I want to have 1,800 as the highest range, because 15 is the highest right here, but 18 will give me some room so it doesn't look like it's butting up to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and select 1,800, and then I'm going to go ahead and minus this head count. So what it's going to do is it's going to account for the room that this particular one here takes in the chart. And since I want to have an equal amount of padding on each side, I'm going to divide it by 2. So it's going to do half the padding on the left side and half the padding on the right side. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and put a $ in front of that C2. I'm just going to press the F4 key a couple times. So that puts a $ in front of the letter. And what happens is when I copy it down and copy it over, that stays the same. The letter C stays the same, but the number 2 will increase for each particular row. So I'll show you what happens there. But I'm going to go ahead and press Control Enter to stay in that cell. Now that's 400. Let me go ahead and double click it to bring it down. You notice that the C stayed the same, but the 6, indicating that we're looking for a cell C6 here, changes. I can actually go ahead and just copy this, Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste to put it over here, because it's going to do the same thing, 1,800 minus C2. So right now, you can see if I selected this, it's all going to add up to 1,800. And if I select somewhere here, same thing, it all adds up to 1,800. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and just delete this particular chart, press delete, and I'm selecting any cell in here, and I'm going to go to insert bar, and do the same thing, insert a stacked bar chart. So now you notice the bar, it actually represents a little bit more of what I'm trying to do. See, this green area is the portions of this head count I want to show. Now the rest of it now is a little bit more formatting, so I want to get rid of this legend. I don't need the legend anymore. Press delete. I don't need these lines. Select those, press delete. And what I'm going to do now, if I wanted to add a little bit of color into here, I can use the chart styles. I actually kind of like the chart styles. I'm going to keep with that motif. I'm going to keep with that theme, and I'm just going to select this particular chart style. So in addition, I got to do a little bit more formatting. So I'm going to remove these colors. So I'm going to go and select that. Right click and go ahead and select no fill. I don't want any shape fill. And do the same here for this one. Right click and no fill. So since I selected the last one is no fill, I can just select this one right now. So now there's no fill in it, but you notice that there's a shadow, and the reason why there's a shadow here is because I picked this particular chart style which has shadows. So I can right click, or I can go to Format Data Series, or I can just select that and press Control 1, and it's going to bring up this window. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that the border color, there's no border color, and the shadow, since there's a shadow, I want to make sure that shadow is not there. Okay, click close, and it should be gone. Do the same thing for this one. Go right click. I'm going to do right click this time and select Format Data Series. And for the border color, no line, shadow, and then no shadow. Now if you didn't select this particular chart style, you just stayed with whatever it gave you, you wouldn't have to deal with this. You don't have to worry about it. But since I selected this style, I have to do these other formatting because the black is a little bit more dramatic with this particular bevel and shadow feature. Now with this axis, maybe I don't want to have it go all the way to 2000 because it looks like there's a lot of empty space here. So I'm going to go ahead and select the axis here, right click or Control 1. I like keyboard shortcuts, so I'm going to press Control 1. And then I want to have the maximum fixed at maybe not 1800, maybe 1900, because 1800 is right about here. So maybe 1900 would be fine. And the minimum 0 that's okay. I don't need to worry about too much about that. So I'll go ahead and click close, and you can notice now it's kind of moved over, and you see that 1900's there. And also I probably want to kind of match this particular, see it's a little bit gray, and then the chart here is black. I want to match that color. So I've selected it in there. You can see that it's selected. If you have a hard time selecting it, you can actually just select the chart and make sure that you're either in the Layout tab or the Format tab. And here in the current selection, you select the plot area. So this is the area you want. You want the plot area, not the chart area. So once you selected the plot area, you can go ahead and right click and go under Format Plot Area, and we want to have that solid fill black. Alright, so it's already selected for us here. Click close, and now you can see it's black. And also, oh, I've noticed that it changed this to -100. Sometimes Excel does that automatically. I'm going to go ahead and right click Format Axis and go under Fixed and just make that 0. Right, so there's a lot of things that Excel does automatically. You just have to adjust for it there. Now, also look at this. There's a lot of space in between there. I don't want that space because it makes it look kind of, they're out separately. So I'm going to go ahead and select one of them, right click, or just press Control 1, and then I want to have the gap width 0. So if I move that all the way down there, it's going to do 0. Click close. Whoops, click close, and then I have my little chart here. So this kind of gives a little bit more dramatic kind of style. So this looks like a little big, so what I can do is I can just decrease the chart size, the chart area. So I can go ahead and just kind of move that down a little bit, and maybe kind of move it around over here in the middle. So now I've got this particular size here within the middle. So there's a lot you can actually do to format the particular chart. This looks like, doesn't really look like a pyramid chart. And let's say that we actually had our head count here, which was, maybe we changed that to 2000. Then it looks more like a pyramid chart. And if we did that, probably need to change this number. Right click and go into Format Axis, and then maybe I'll change that to maybe 2100 now, and then just to make it look a little bit better on both sides. And so this has probably, well, let's see, this has to probably change a little bit, 1800. So now I got to change that. So I got to make this 2100 minus, oops, and then I can just bring this up. You can use the fill handle to bring that up, and you can use the fill handle to bring that down. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. So now it adds a little bit of space in between. So there's a lot of ways you can kind of format it after you create something like this, this organizational distribution chart. And if you don't want to have the one at the bottom, you may want to have it at the top. You can actually just resort this. You can go select here and go under data and go under sort, and let's sort by the grade range, and we want to sort from largest to smallest, and it's going to invert this now. So it's going to invert it where we see like the largest and smallest is. So this works well if you've got something like this where you kind of imagine there's a lot of folks in between, but if you've got something like this where the head count at the lower grade range is the highest, it looks like a pyramid, it's probably better to sort it from ascending instead of like this descending. But in our case, so in this third example, this probably doesn't work too well because a large part of the grade range is at the bottom, so maybe we want to sort this by ascending. So we're going to click on that and just sort it from smallest to largest. It looks a little bit better here. It looks more like a organization pyramid chart here. So that's how you create a chart like this. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.